Homecoming tonight in New Jersey for a journalist who was detained in Nigeria for nearly 5 years. This is a story we've covered since he was first arrested, and tonight he spoke only to CBS 2's Derek Waller about how he thought he was going to die behind bars.
How does it feel to be home?
I can't even describe it because I never thought I would make it back here.
Nigerian-American journalist Omoyele Sowore, arrested on charges of treason in 2019, set free on bond, only to be kidnapped in that same courtroom. Tonight, reunited with his wife and 2 children in the Bergen County borough of Hallworth, in front of this standing room-only crowd. Why is the Nigerian government so afraid of you?
I think my biggest offense is establishing a media company that exposes corruption, because corruption is Nigeria's biggest problem.
The founder of SaharaReporters.com brought home with help from Congressman Josh Gottheimer.
Can't wait to you to come home and so we can have a slice of pizza, because I know that's what I would miss most if I were away. So we got you a pie. I promised you a pie.
His office putting pressure on Nigerian officials and the U.S. State Department, helping with Sowore's green card.
After you travel for a year without coming here, you lose it. So it wouldn't have been easy had he not been involved.
His wife, Opiyami, also instrumental, appearing on CBS 2 multiple times over the years and organizing this yellow ribbon campaign, one for each day her husband was wrongfully detained.
Yele, we love you. We're so happy that you're home safely. We're going to do a bonfire tonight and take your passport.
Are you going to burn that passport?
Well, my wife might burn a passport, but you can't burn the will to make Nigeria become a democratic, a successful and prosperous society. So,
will you ever go back?
I will. There's no going back on making Nigeria a better country.
Folks, take a minute and listen to my story about Omoyele Sowore. It's a personal, touchy story for me. Try not to click out. There's a reason. This man's work in Nigeria touches my heart. Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wankwa coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And as usual, I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. This is a very personal, touchy one for me. The fight is a fight to win our country back. The Sowores and the Dele Farotimis and the Aisha Yusufus and the Rufai Osenis. Those are the people who keep me doing what I'm doing here. And on that note, guys, my last episode is the best work I've ever put forward. There's no glory in this. Many of you went home for Christmas and had a good time. I couldn't go home. If I went home, I'm not sure what will happen to me. But this job is so critical and so important to me that it's the sacrifice I make to make Nigeria a better country. And the least you could do is lift your finger and click on share. Or share it with people who may like it more than you do. They may be the ones that share it to the places where it catches the viral wave. I am disappointed. But this episode is not about me. This episode is about Sowore and heroes like him that fight our fights with boots on the ground in Nigeria. It's a musical tribute. Please take time and listen to my emotional story of what made Sowore become one of my biggest sentimental heroes. And not to undermine my own brother's situation, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, I thought at this stage I should also bring up the fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is also still being held hostage by this same Nigerian government for a crime he did not commit. But before I continue on the Sowore note, I also thought I'll bring this musical tribute to awaken my viewers to what your responsibilities should be. Omoyele Sowore occupies a very, very soft spot in my life and my heart. And it will come to you as a surprise why. This episode is emotional for me, so bear with me if I tend to be struggling not to break down. But in 2019, I lost a sister. And I remember my last communication with her. And by the way, I've struggled with this story. I've told it to friends here and there, but I've never made it public because I was trying to guard my sister's privacy, even posthumously. However, this morning I decided to call my niece, her daughter, and get permission from her, tell her what I was trying to do and what I was trying to share. And she said, "Uncle, go ahead." Less than 24 hours before my sister died, she had called me at work. And I have this bad habit of receiving calls that are very important, because anytime a sibling or a parent or a niece or a nephew or a cousin or a good friend calls me, I consider it important. But as I get older, I tend to forget on the whim. And my sister had called me maybe about a week or two earlier. And I answered and said, "Marty, I'll call you right back." I didn't. And on this day, I was at my office. And when she called me, I actually picked up the phone, but I couldn't talk because I was in a meeting. And I said, "Marty, I promise you, I'm gonna call back. I'm sorry I didn't call back the last time." She said, "Make sure you call me." And as I left, I didn't call. I forgot as usual. I tend to forget things a lot the older I get. But something unique happened on this day. As I'm driving, 10 minutes into my drive, I remembered that Mati had called me and I promised I'll call back. And I did something I had never done before. I pulled into a parking lot in a shopping plaza and I called her. She didn't pick up. So I responded to her WhatsApp message. If you look on my screen, the box that you see, the image there is the video she sent me on a Sowere rally. Unfortunately, it's been 5 years I've deleted that video, but this image is what you see on your WhatsApp screen when you've deleted a message on your gallery, but it's still on your screen. And I saved this because it means something to me. I didn't delete that thing on my screen. It's still there up till today. But now, what you'll also see next is that I sent her a text in response to the video. I said, Mati, even though you're seeing it on the screen, I want to read it. I said, Mati, good talk by Sowore. Unfortunately, people, meaning fellow Yorubas who know him well, are not with him. And I don't mean the grassroots. I said, I think he burned a lot of bridges and it's haunting him now. By that I mean the political bigwigs in Yoruba land were doing nothing to help this young man that was fighting for Nigeria. And that's what happens with people like us. It's the grassroots that hear us, but they have no say in what's going on. But my sister Martina's response comes next. She said, that's the unfortunate side of it all. I only wish people will consider what he's saying and forget what he did before. And I responded to my sister, true. That was my last communication with my sister. The next day, less than 24 hours later, I got a call that she passed. I remembered pulling into that parking lot. And until this day, I thank God that I pulled into that parking lot to talk with her one more time. That's my connection to Sowore, and that's why anything Sowore has a special place in my heart. And if you're wondering why does the screen name that she has for me, why it says Dudu D-U-D-U, here is a little story that goes with that. If you take a look on the name at the top, instead of Fred, my brother or something like that, it says D-U-D-U, which is Dudu. Dudu in Yoruba means black. And as you could see, I'm dark-skinned. And in secondary school at CIC, I used to smoke cigarettes, and I smoked Benson and Hedges. And one day, my friend, he goes, Dudu Hedges, which is black hedges, dark-skinned hedges, Dudu Hedges. So, and my sister was living in Enugu, so I spent a lot of time in their house, and my friends from school came by, and she heard them calling me Dudu Hedges. In my whole family, on a regular basis, she's the only one who called me Dudu Hedges until the day she died. It's ironic that her final communication with me was not talking about family, was not talking about all the needs she could have or all the needs I could have. It was talking about Nigerian politics. And as an Igbo lady, with the Nnamdi Kanu thing going on, which I'm so sure she was sympathetic to and everything, she was talking about a young Yoruba man that is being mishandled in this hellhole we call Nigeria. Pardon me, guys, but I wanted to bring that emotion to you to help you understand the work that the Soweres do in Nigeria and the sentiment of progressive Nigerians, whether they are Igbos or Yorubas or Fulanis. Never mind the fact that the powers that be would like to give you the impression that it's Igbos versus Yorubas, Fulanis versus Igbos. No, it's progressives versus the cabal. It never crossed my sister's mind what tribe Sowere was. The only thing on her mind was that this young man is fighting a fight that will liberate Nigerians, which included her. And she was calling out the best she could to get help for this man. And following is a musical tribute to the faces of struggle in Nigeria, the faces of the people who fight our fights and talk for us at the risk of this devil-may-care government and their security agencies. I hope you enjoy the music and the faces. this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with an emotional edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Yahweh na komitunaka Oso mwindo utande wapio Oso mwindo utande wapio Koko na biso ya kala yenanie Yesu mwana nzambe yende mondele Adamu na Eva bangonde mindele Santo nyoso bangonde mindele Bona nini yo Na mitunaka Nzambe na komitunaka Yahweh na komitunaka Babu kwa nzambe tomonaka boye Santo nyoso foto se mindele Banjelu nyoso bango se mindele Sokiza bulu foto moto moindo Injustice utande wapio na mama Komitunaka Oso mwindo utande wapio Moto mwindo utande wapio Banoko bakanga biso mayele boye Like kwa bakoko bango baboyaka Kisya bakoko bango bandimakate Kasi nanda kwa nzambe biso tomonaka Sambela chapele na maboko Toko sambela bikeko bitondi ndako Kasi bikeko yango semindele Pona nini nzambe